You're listening to the Health and Happiness Podcast with Travis Kemper and
Lauren Maxwell. Each episode, we share easy-to-implement strategies to improve your health, happiness, and overall quality of life. When I lose perspective, I need to go to a place where I lose reception. Macklemore. So how's it going, Travis? What's been new this week?
It's going well. We are going through with the sale of our house in Phoenix, so that's kind of exciting.
Oh, that's a big deal. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It's gonna make me very busy, but it's a good thing. We also, we bought a new car again. That's kind of exciting.
Yes. Minus the expense part, but yeah, exciting.
Yeah, minus the whole paying for it thing. Because Julia's car broke down. Buddy has not returned. Yeah.
Oh, fun man.
Yeah, we're hoping there was a sighting from the neighbor with a white cat, and then I saw the white cat meow at my door, and I've never seen this white cat any other time, but Duke scared it away. Oh. So now I'm putting food out for Buddy, and I have a game cam, like a motion sensing camera.
Nice.
For wildlife to try and see if my cat is still around.
Oh.
We're hopeful, but yeah, it's looking dim.
Man.
We had our first football game, and the boys kicked butt.
Oh, so awesome!
They destroyed their rivals in Aspen, who were ranked ahead of them. They beat them 41-14. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they had negative rushing yards. It was a good game.
I don't know what that means, but that sounds great.
It means our defense dominated them.
Awesome.
There was one other thing.
What about your Nerf gun war?
Oh, that's right. I knew I needed to talk about one other thing. So the Nerf guns went well. I know I sent you a picture. We should probably put it on Instagram.
You definitely need to post it on Instagram.
My wife is an assassin, it turns out. Yeah, she destroyed me. The series
Way to go, Julia.
The series stands at 2 wins for Julia, 0 wins for Travis, and 2 ties, because you only get 6 darts, which then turn into 4 darts by the end, because Duke destroyed the darts. Yeah, Duke, like I said, it was going to be a gift for Duke too, and he liked it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So and my wife shot me in the face right after, literally 2 minutes after she said no headshots. She shoots me in the face and makes me bleed. Nerf guns are way stronger than you think now.
That was the picture that you sent me. We'll have to post that on
I don't
our
know
socials.
I recommend safety glasses if you take this date idea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. There was one time that my husband Nolan and I were having a Nerf gun war, and it wasn't planned. Like, it wasn't like something like you did, where it was cute and like you set it up and like it was fun. We just had Nerf guns, and he decided he was going to have a war, and I was just not prepared and very unaware that it was happening. So I was looking at him, big, like wide-eyed, like I do, and he shot me in the eye.
Oh no.
It was like the most painful thing that I think I can imagine with a Nerf gun.
They are way more powerful and way more accurate than I remember when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was shocked. Anyway, how was your week?
My week was good. I got to try aerial yoga for the first time. So I've taken a trapeze class before. I'm like all into this, like, I don't know, circus stuff, what people do in like circus. I think it's so fun, and it's
hyper flexible.
Yeah, it's like I'm taking my like one strength and using it during, a way to work out or be active and exercise. But I've never done aerial yoga before. So it's basically like you're doing yoga, but like with the silks that hang from the ceiling. And it was so fun. And I was so good at it naturally because I am hyper flexible. And I'm not like usually not the one who's like good at something. So it was like really fun for me to be like, oh, this is easy. Because our instructor would be like, okay, so you like put the silk behind your back and then you just like open your legs and flip upside down. And then you're gonna do this like lotus pose or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. And then just went whoop. And then everybody else was like, excuse me?
Nice.
It was fun. I had a lot of fun and I was actually quite sore from it, which is always exciting.
So it was fun, a fun, good workout.
It was a fun, good workout. Yeah, it was super fun. And then the only other thing going on in my life is I'm so far winning at my March Madness team. And given it's their small, it consists of like myself, my husband, my dad, his girlfriend, and like maybe one other person. But I have won most of the years that I've played, and I'm currently sitting pretty as we're going into this weekend because Gonzaga is my team. It's gonna take it all, and I think it's gonna happen.
It's impressive that you're winning in a pool based on a sport that you don't even know what sport it is.
I know it's basketball. It is impressive because I don't do anything sporty. Like I don't even know sports. You're right. Most of the time, I'm pretty sure 98% of my friends would be like, you don't know what March Madness is.
Did you just pick based on the mascots?
Yeah. And
like,
the
I
colors,
like Bulldogs.
yeah, and I look up the mascots. I look up their like colors of their uniform.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
And
never pick the teams in yellow.
Really?
Yeah, they always lose.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's not a thing.
Oh. Could have fooled me. Like I said, I don't know anything sports, but I like this because you don't have to really have a whole lot of know-how to play March Madness.
It's a lot of luck.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. So knock on wood. Something is wood. I don't know, maybe my head. Knock on wood. I'm gonna take the trophy this year, the metaphorical trophy that is. Anyway, what are we gonna talk about today, Travis?
Well, with buying a new car, we had to figure out what we want in a new car, and we wanted some more ground clearance for one reason pretty much, and one reason only, and that is because we like to go camping and get out in nature, and we like to drive down back roads, dirt roads that are too bumpy for our sedans. So I was thinking we could talk about the benefits of nature for healthiness and happiness this week.
I love it. That's a great topic.
Yeah. So I know you do a lot of hiking as well, and I make it a point to hike. Well, on my goal board that you can't read, it's
a secret goal board.
Yes. It says to get at least 9 miles with Duke every week in hiking.
Wow, that's a good goal.
Yeah, and actually Julia and I probably each do that, so he gets a lot of hiking.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that's great.
And that's our hiking, so he gets at least double what we get.
Yeah, that's
once he gets off the leash. Yeah. So yeah, we do that a lot, and I have found in my life that it really I'm a much happier person when I am
out in nature,
regularly hiking and camping, and I'm so excited because it's springtime. It's camping time.
Yeah, I feel like everybody has that connection to nature. Like you just feel good when you're out in it. I mean, hiking can be really hard for me because it's basically like cardio just on a mountain. And like everybody knows that I don't like cardio. If you didn't know, now you know. I hate cardio. But I love, like, it's one of those things that I just absolutely love because like, even though I like can't breathe, I'm breathing better because there's like fresh air in my lungs. And I don't know, you just feel so much happier once you've spent time out in nature, in trees, and surrounded by just the earth.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things that growing up, I think I took for granted. You know, I grew up in a family that we hunted and fished, and gosh, there was a couple of years where we did mountain biking multiple times per week in a local park right across the street from our house, basically, down to the lake and around the lakes. And then I went to college and no nature time until grad school. And then when I got in grad school, I refound my love for nature, and it just makes everything so much better.
It really does. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in the desert, and so it's it's weird because we did, like, I spent a lot of time outside just because I lived in a small town and there wasn't like anything to do other than to be outside. But it was, I mean, it was hot. It's just like 120 degrees in the summer in Phoenix. But my dad used to like go hiking with us and stuff like that. And I always really enjoyed it, except for that I was hot. So I like had this love-hate thing with being in the desert and outside. And then I moved to Flagstaff. And then it was like, is this what I've been missing my whole life? Like 24 years of just like being hot. And now I walk outside and I'm like, this is amazing.
It is not hot in Flagstaff.
Not hot in Flagstaff. No, it's beautiful, like year round. I mean, I even go walking in, it's not even that cold in Flagstaff. Most of the time it's not that cold, but like I go walking outside when it's snowing outside and it's still gorgeous.
Yeah, we like to do that. Duke loves hiking in the snow. He's a big fan of snow. He's gonna miss it this spring. We're almost out. Yeah. Anyway, so let's dive into some of the research here and what that says about hiking, and we'll kind of try and figure out if it's just you and me and our personal experiences, or if there is an effect in the research on people's health and happiness when they are out in nature. Yeah. So what do you want to start with?
Well, we found one study that had basically tried to find the impact of having a nature experience, is what they called it, on affect and cognition. So they had randomly assigned a group of people to walk 50 minutes in an urban environment or a natural environment. I think these were like around 60-year-old participants. And then they compared the two as far as like how people felt, like their memory, their affect, all that kind of stuff. And they found that the nature walk had resulted in decreased anxiety, decreased rumination. So like having a lot of negative thoughts and really just like continually thinking about them. It decreased a negative affect and preserved a positive affect. And then it actually did have an effect on memory and cognition, as it was shown to increase working memory performance. So people were actually remembering better.
That's awesome. And I like how they did that, where they took out the effect of exercise, essentially, because you had the two groups both exercised for the same amount of time, and then you compared. So it's just comparing exercise to exercise in a natural environment.
Yeah, it just changed the environments.
And getting significant results out of that, which is awesome.
Yeah, that was a really cool one.
So I came across something that says living near trees comes with health benefits. So just living near a tree in a city, like if your city street has
Some trees.
trees on it instead of nothing, can make a big difference. And when I say a big difference, several big differences.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And some really cool ones too.
yeah. So living near trees can help you breathe better. It reduces your mortality rate from heart
Breathe
and
better.
respiratory illnesses. It reduces anxiety, stress, and depression, reduces obesity and diabetes, helps you sleep better. And then there was another study where a physician studied patients in how they recover after surgery. If they had a room that looked at a brick wall out the window versus a room that had a tree view. And the patients that had the tree view took a day less to recover and used less painkillers through the recovery process, which is freaking amazing.
That is so freaking cool. Like, again, that's having a tree to look at. Like, you're not even outside next to the tree. You're just looking at it out your window, and it makes a difference.
Several degrees of separation from you and nature, and it still makes a big difference.
That's so cool. I love that study.
It's so powerful. And I know I found this, we talked in the last episode a little bit about why, the reasons that we decided to make the move up here and settle down. And a big part of it was we wanted to go hiking more. And we wanted to live in this area, as opposed to, like, we moved for the last 6 months, we were in Phoenix, in downtown Phoenix where our house was. And we had trees on the street. So yay, Phoenix, good job there. However, it is not the same for me. It is not even close to the level. I don't know if it's for everybody, but I feel so much more at home when I'm in the actual wilderness and or close to it, I should say. And my stress goes down. My mental health is way better. I'm a much happier person.
Yeah, I mean, I can second that, especially growing up in Phoenix. And like, Phoenix, it does have trees. They have lots of plants. They do their best to, have desert plants and all that kind of stuff. Like, I had a bunch of trees around me when I was growing up, but I also lived, like, it was very urban and there were houses everywhere. And there's a difference between walking outside my front door of the house that I grew up in and walking outside my front door here, where the second I walk outside, I'm immersed in trees. And I live in an apartment complex. So like, theoretically, I'm surrounded by more like building than I was when I was in my home, but there's so many more trees. Like, the minute I walk outside, there's like a trail right next to me, and that makes a huge difference. I'm more inclined to go walk because it's right there.
Flagstaff's a pretty cool place.
I don't want to move.
Yeah, understandable. They also said that, I had mentioned this, but people sleep better. And it got me thinking, when I was a kid, my family has a cabin in northern Pennsylvania, and I have never been able to sleep in at any point in my life. 6 o'clock is late for me, except for at my cabin. And there's a creek running in front of the cabin and behind the cabin. And you just hear water running all the time. And for whatever reason, I'm assuming it's because the water is like great white noise or something like that. I don't know. All I know is that if I am next to water, I can sleep until 10 o'clock. Consistently.
Whoa!
And this has been throughout my entire life. So when we go camping, I try and get decently close to a creek. You don't want to get too close because then it's humidity. Figured that out. You get soaked. For whatever reason. Yeah, for whatever reason in a tent overnight, you will get soaked if you are really close to a creek. But if you can just hear it.
Oh, I love that sound.
It's awesome. Yeah.
So soothing. I think it would be soothing too. Not that I've ever really slept by a body of water.
Oh, you don't know what you're missing.
I don't.
We have the Colorado River right out my office window.
Wow.
So I'm excited for springtime. We are almost to the point where we could probably open up the windows overnight. The only problem is we also have I-70 right across the Colorado.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't know if it'll be as calming as the cabin. I don't think so.
Well, you'll have to keep us posted.
No, I'll let you know when we give it a try.
Yeah.
What else we got?
There was another study, which, I mean, we talked about this earlier, that there was the effect of decreased rumination, but another study found the same thing. And then it also found that living near nature or being in nature reduces mental illness. So it studied participants who went on a 90-minute walk through a natural environment, and then they reported lower levels of that kind of festering on, that negative talk and negative like things happening in life. And it actually showed, this is the interesting part that I thought, it showed that there was reduced activity in an area of the brain that was linked to risk for mental illness. So like the brain, yeah, the brain was actually changing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Right?
Yeah, I'd like to keep my brain happy.
Yeah, you know what else keeps us happy?
Sunlight. Yeah, so sunlight has been shown in study after study after study to make people happier. You also synthesize vitamin D from sunlight. So there's another benefit of getting outside and in nature is you'll be in more sunlight. And vitamin D does several things. One thing is it keeps bones strong. So as we talked about in some other episode before, osteoporosis and osteopenia, weakening of the bones, are really big problems.
Yeah.
So keeping your bones strong in part is due to vitamin D. So you need that. But vitamin D has been linked with all-cause mortality, vitamin D deficiency has been linked with diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, infections, immune system disorders, falls in older people, some types of cancer, specifically breast, colon, and prostate cancer, and multiple sclerosis. So getting vitamin D sounds important. I think we should try it.
Pretty important. Yeah. And from my own personal experience, vitamin D really helps with migraines. And I've seen some research on that. I could probably do more on it. I don't have any that I've written right in front of me, but personally has made a big difference for migraines because I get pretty bad migraines. And when I am consistent about going outside when it's sunny, or in the winter time when it's less sunny, I take vitamin D supplements. If I'm consistent with that kind of stuff, I get way less migraines. And for anybody who gets migraines out there, that is a huge freaking deal because you're debilitated when you get a migraine. And if I can prevent that by walking out my door on a sunny day, yeah, I'm going to do that. That's super easy.
It sounds terrible.
It's terrible. It's awful.
It sounds awful. I am blessed not to have that problem. Vitamin D deficiency has also been linked with depression in several studies. So another good one to avoid.
Yeah.
Plus sunlight makes you happier. So that's antidepressant right there.
Yeah. I mean, seasonal affect disorder is real.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. And that's why I live in Arizona. There's so much sunlight because I feel like even in Flagstaff during the winter months when it's less sunny, like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as good as when it's sunny. I was raised in Phoenix. Maybe that's part of it, is I'm used to like 364 days of sun. Instead, we have like one day of rain.
Yeah, the amount of sunshine in Flagstaff was pretty shocking moving from Pennsylvania.
I'm sure.
It's literally like double. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't realize it until I went home for a vacation over Christmas, and it was gray for like 8 out of 10 days that I was home.
Oh my
yeah, and
gosh.
I was like, I'm never coming back here again.
Holy cow. Was that the Christmas trip where I drove you to the airport at like 2 in the morning?
Yeah, that was it. Yep.
That was a good time.
Yeah, you
know that I'm a dedicated friend, that I wake up at 2 a.m. to drive you from Flagstaff to Phoenix.
Not only did you wake up then, but I didn't ask you to.
No, I volunteered.
Yeah, which means you're a really special friend.
Yeah, but then it was awesome because I got to pick you up from the airport. And that's like my favorite thing to do. I love when people come home and I get to pick them up, and then I get to meet them inside the airport, and I get to do that like big running hug. Oh, it's the best. This is a very side tangent, but it's worth saying.
That was my first experience with the running hug at the airport. I was expecting you outside in the car because that's where I've always gotten picked up.
Yeah, that's not how I do things.
Julia's family doesn't pick people up like that either. They go into the airport too.
Yeah, that's
just
what
like
you
you
do. Give them a good welcome home. Make them happy to come home.
Yeah, that's a new experience for me. All right, you had one more study here that you want to go over?
Oh yeah, there was one study that showed a positive correlation between nature and well-being. Surprise. Because that's kind of what we've talked about over and over. But it indicated that people who are more connected to nature, or outside more in nature, or like have a tree to look at, are more likely to be flourishing and functioning well psychologically. So again, that gets back to like, it helps with mental illness or preventing depression and stuff like that. It just makes you an overall happier person. Lots of studies showed that. Yeah,
and that was a 2019 meta-analysis.
Oh, that's right. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. So I think we talked about that in a past episode, how those don't ever show anything. It's always just like, oh yeah, we need more research.
Yeah. So when they conclude,
it's something, unless it's something that like all of the studies agree, it's a positive effect. So getting out in nature makes you more likely to be flourishing and functioning well psychologically.
And who doesn't want that? I want to be flourishing.
This seems a lot like the laughter episode. It's like, yeah, I'll go for a walk outside and laugh.
Laugh.
Right.
You know what you should do?
Health.
You know
walk
what you
outside
should do?
with comedy.
Walk outside with comedy. Put on what do you listen to? Pandora or Spotify, and like look up a comedian and then go on a walk and listen to a comedian. Oh my gosh, we should do a study on that. I bet that would like boost your everything. Just everything.
And if you did that and then you put in some high intensity intervals, oh my God.
Go up a hill?
The health charts would be crazy.
You guys, we are giving you quality health advice here, combining everything that we've learned through our research in the last month. And making this, 2 months. 2 months already? Wow.
Yeah. By the time this is released, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it'll probably be 2 months. Yeah.
I forget we record much earlier than people listen.
That's right. We're about 2 weeks ahead. Anyway, anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
Oh, we got to do the challenge.
We got to do the challenge. Sorry, this is new for us. We're not used to like having a challenge to give you, but I like the idea and I think it's going to work really
again,
well.
Allison.
Yeah, thanks again, Allison. So what should we make our challenge this week, Travis?
Well, I think we can make this one a little easier than last week because last week was a pretty big challenge.
Yeah, it was significant.
So to give you a little break this week, we can just say your challenge is to get out on a nature walk or two this week and/or book a camping trip.
I like it. I'll take that challenge easily, happily.
Good. I will be hiking tomorrow.
Oh, and if you guys do this challenge, you should take a video and post it on your stories on Instagram and tag us in it. That would be cool.
Yes, you could do that. That sounds awesome.
Because then we could know and cheer you on. And I love cheering people on, you guys.
Awesome. Well, this was fun.
This is fun.
Thanks, everybody. And as always, let us know if you have anything you want us to talk about or anything that's on your mind and you're wondering about. And we will see you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to this episode of the Health and Happiness Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode and are getting benefits from our content.
If your life is improving in part due to the information in this podcast, we would greatly appreciate you sharing the episode with your family and friends on social media and leaving us a review so we can continue to reach more people and improve the health and happiness of the community at large.
Thanks again, and we will see you next week for another episode of the Health and Happiness Podcast.